Let's get more now from our legal team. Nancy Grace, the host of Nancy Grace on HLN, GMA legal analyst Dan Abrams. Welcome to you both. And Nancy, let me begin with you. Boy, you look at that closet, nothing moved, in pristine shape, and that all comes before the prosecution puts up its last witness today, the medical examiner. They want the jurors to have a very clear image in their head.
Absolutely, and it wasn't just a pristine closet. I'm sure you all have met those guys that are neatniks, and they have all the shoe protectors and all of their shoes, and everything is color-coded. Well, that was Travis Alexander. And Jodi Arias' story is that she climbed up those shelves, essentially, to reach back in the back to get out the murder weapon that only she knew about. That was all debunked. Not only did they show photos of this pristine, perfect, it looked like a California closet ad, but also when the detective put his hand on the shelf, it came down. It cannot hold the weight of the body. And this is what I say. I don't need to be an expert in closets to know when you bring grandma, when you wheel grandma into the courtroom, you're down at the bottom of the barrel. They're doing anything to get to that jury.
And the judge, Dan, is allowing the defense to call one more new witness next week before the closing arguments.
Yeah, and look,
yes,
I don't think it's that big a deal.
Go ahead, Dan.
The bottom line is that, the bottom line is that this debate over whether Jodi Arias has or doesn't have borderline personality disorder is not going to be what this case hinges on. Basically, what the judge is saying is, yes, the prosecution mentioned a new theory in its rebuttal case. Remember, the rebuttal is just supposed to be the response. Yes, I'm going to allow the defense to call a quick witness to respond to that. It's not significant. The key here is that the focus of the rebuttal case by the prosecution has been on the most important issue in this case, and that's premeditation. The prosecution trying to hit home the idea that Jodi Arias had planned this, that she'd bought gas cans so she wouldn't have to stop, that the gun story that she told about the closet doesn't work. This is the most important issue in this case. It's been the focus of the prosecution's rebuttal. And so if the defense, in its final opportunity, has an expert come on and say Jodi Arias doesn't have borderline personality disorder, I don't think it's going to make a difference.
But, Nancy, what about the prosecution?
Hey, Dan, you know why that's so important? Part of that is so important, what Dan just said, that they're showing premeditation because out of the blue, of course, a lot of court watchers expected it. The defense now wants a charge on manslaughter. That's not consistent with self-defense, but showing that premeditation that Dan had just started to lay out is important. It defeats a manslaughter charge, which is in the heat of passion. You get angry and you pull the trigger. But they're showing she brought gas cans so she wouldn't be traced at a gas station. Yesterday, we saw photos where she dyed her hair and then took selfies, pictures of herself with her new hair color, with a fake car, a fake tag, her cell phone turned off, her car loaded with gas cans, so she could not be traced on her way to commit the murder.
And then, Dan, finally, in the closing arguments next week, and they are set for next week, what does the defense do? How does the defense get 4 months of a trial honed down to a single clean argument?
They've got to get rid of premeditation. I mean, they're resting everything here on this idea of self-defense. I don't think anyone is going to buy the notion that somehow Jodi Arias is going to be acquitted because this was self-defense. Her only hope is that they somehow believe that there wasn't premeditation, which is why this jury charge of manslaughter, and again, the judge hasn't decided yet whether to allow it, becomes so important. Because if the judge does allow manslaughter, that says to this jury, hey, you could believe that there was a fight, you could believe heat of passion, and you could convict her of a much less crime.
Okay, guys, thanks very much.